Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, our moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love of God, our moments with the saints of God, our moments with our spirit, our inner being, so that what God speaks to us in the innermost depth of our being may help us to grow spiritually. And if you like the video, you may please share it with others. Thank you. Today is already the 23rd of December. We are just 1.5 days away from the birth of Jesus. On 24th late night, we shall already be celebrating the birth of Jesus. But before the birth of Jesus, today's gospel speaks about how John the Baptist was born. John the Baptist, who Jesus described as the greatest man born of women. That is John the Baptist, who had the unique privilege of baptizing Jesus in the Jordan, as you see. And he had this great responsibility to prepare the way for Jesus. And when Elisabeth, his mother, had heard the greetings of Mary, and the greetings came to Elizabeth's ear, this child, John the Baptist, leaped with joy in her womb. That is how John is so great, and we have spoken about John. Anyway, and when he was born, a time came for him to be named according to the custom, to be baptized, and Elizabeth suggested that his name should be John. But the relatives were surprised and asked, how can that be? Because none of you in the family has that name, John. John actually comes from the Hebrew word Yohanan, and Yohanan means God is gracious. Certainly, God was gracious to Elizabeth, that in her old age, when she was actually being humiliated because she could not have a son, God was gracious to grant her a son in her old age. So naturally, God had been very gracious to her, as I think and I believe very strongly that God is gracious to you, God is gracious to me. I can give hundreds of examples and hundreds of testimonies where I have experienced God's graciousness. And if you also take time to think, I will come to that, then you will find that God is gracious. Then they asked his father, Zacharias, who of course was dumb, what name should we give him? And Zacharias came with a slate and then wrote the name Yohanan. You see, this is of course in Hebrew who had written, but I am writing in English just to say, because he could not speak, he had to write on a tablet and say that his name should be John. And they of course then named him John. But do you know, there is an interesting aspect. Why did Zechariah go dumb? Some people think, of course, the angel also told him, because you did not believe. Yes, it could sound like a punishment to him. But in my understanding, yes, it could be a punishment, but not a punishment, or it was actually a chance given to him to be quiet. Why? Because he had experienced a great mystery while the angel had spoken to him and he could not grasp. That's why he said, how could this happen? Because I am old, my wife is old. Why did he become then dumb, or why the angel made him dumb? In my understanding, when we are dumb, we are unable to speak. When we are unable to speak, then we spend more time in contemplation and in prayer. Then we spend more time in listening to the Word of God. Then we spend more time in conversing with God. Then we spend more time in deciphering or in trying to find out what is the will and the plan of God. In my understanding, it was not so much a punishment, but it was an occasion. he was given an opportunity to spend more time quietly rather than in worldly things. Sometimes we spend our time in gossiping. But when we are dumb, then there is nothing we can speak. Of course, our thoughts can still wander helter skelter, but it is certainly a chance when we speak less, then we think more of God. Don't you think that this is a beautiful interpretation that Zechariah was given enough time to think about God and what wonders God had done in his life? I am sure God is providing you too with many opportunities to do your prayer and contemplate on the how God has been gracious to you and on the goodness and mercy and love of God. And if you like, you may please subscribe to this channel and share the video with others. Thank you. And in these days, there are also some Christmas films on my channel. If you just scroll down, you will find beautiful films, short films on themes related to Christmas: Star Over Bethlehem, Happy Birthday, Upar, and there are several others, short films. I cannot remember just now all the names, but they are wonderful. Please watch and enjoy them. Thank you.